Hey YouTube, it's January 15th. That means tomorrow, January 16th, is the day that King Obama will present to the American people his plan for stripping, or starting to strip, our Second Amendment rights away. And he'll bring forth all of the recommendations that the Joker, Joe Biden, and his group of misfits have been working on for the past couple weeks. And like you, I can hardly contain myself as I wait to hear just exactly what the king has up his sleeve for his subjects. The state of New York, of course, they struck first. Was it last night or the night before last? They had a closed-door session and rammed through some legislation in the People's Republic of New York that will, in effect, strip the citizens of New York of their rights to own certain weapons. It's going to restrict magazine capacities from 10 rounds down to 7 rounds. Where they come up with that number, who knows? So the people of New York, it's like you're the first one to fall. Probably not going to be the last. I'm sure some of the other states, the People's Republic states of Massachusetts and California, and some of these other states will follow as well. It's funny that Obama is he's not, what he's doing doesn't surprise me at all. I would think that it doesn't surprise you either. I think we all expected something like this to happen. And what's happened is he has seized on a tragedy in Connecticut, with the school shooting, and he's using it for political gain. He's just been waiting on this chance, I think, all along. A little too risky for him to try anything his first term, as we all know that Obama's main priority was to be reelected, to stay in power. The same as the majority of those working in our federal government. Their goal was to stay in power. Our needs, our wants are secondary to them maintaining, their grip. But now that Obama he's won his second term, and he doesn't have to worry about another election, so he's free to do what he's always wanted to do. So he seized upon this tragedy, and now he's going to do it. And I understand that he's going to surround himself tomorrow with children while he makes his announcements. This man has no shame. He would be just as well, I guess, just to stand on the graves of the poor little children from Connecticut. I'm surprised he doesn't do something like that. Just a man with no shame, just a terrible representative of our country. I told someone this earlier today. I served in the Marine Corps overseas. I have voted my whole life. Every time the polls have been open, I've voted. I've flown my flag. I have put bumper stickers on my car. I cheered for our Olympic team in sports that I'd never even heard of. I took pride every time our astronauts blasted off on another mission into outer space. I sent 2 of my sons into the military, one in the Marine Corps, one in the Navy, and they've both served in Afghanistan, in the Persian Gulf, in the Mediterranean. And for the first time in my life, I'm becoming ashamed of my country, and I never dreamed I would ever say such a thing. It's just really just depressing. And when I started this channel, I didn't intend to talk about guns all the time. That's kind of what I've found myself talking about, though. And I guess, with what's going on, that's understandable, and that's probably going to be the subject for a while. But anyway, there are some people pushing back. I know the state of Wyoming, the state of Texas now, there are some folks there who are introducing legislation that will forbid law enforcement officers in those respective states from enforcing any unconstitutional gun laws. They're trying to make it a felony for any law enforcement official, whether local, state, or federal, to do that in those states. You know, that I don't know what will come of that. I suspect not a whole lot will come of it, but at least there are people out there fighting back. Senator Rand Paul here in Kentucky. I suggest if you're not familiar with Senator Paul, of course his father is the great Ron Paul. Senator Paul is, he referred to Obama the other day as the king. And I would suggest, if you're not familiar with Senator Paul, to make yourself familiar. Read up on him a little bit and listen to some of his speeches and read some of what he's writing, what he's saying. You may want to adopt him as your senator. Someone I think that in the future, in the coming months and coming years, someone like Senator Paul may very well be someone for us to follow. So, you know, keep that in mind. Events coming up. Guns Across America is the event on January 19th at high noon all across the United States. And what's going on is that lovers of the Second Amendment, whether you own a gun or not, if you just love the Constitution, if you want to stand up for the Second Amendment, then on January 19th at noon, show up at your state capitol building. I know some states, they have alternate places, you know, someplace other than the state capitol, but in the majority of states it is the state capitol. Show up and make your voice heard. Stand up for the Second Amendment. And it's important that you conduct yourselves, and most gun owners will, is conduct yourself in a respectful manner. No acts of violence. Don't threaten any violence. Be very respectful. You know, don't use foul language. Don't litter. Don't make a scene. Don't be rude to anyone, even those who may, there may be some counter protesters. I highly doubt it in some states. I wouldn't suspect there'll be any here in Kentucky, but it's possible. There could be some counter demonstrators. Some of the news media may try to provoke some folks into saying something inflammatory. You know, don't fall for that. Be polite, be respectful, because any one of us that gets out of line and says anything wrong, you know, makes any kind of outlandish threats or anything like that, you know, that they'll make that one person or that small group of people the face of this entire thing, and you know, they'll use that to discredit us. That's just the way they are. So you know, don't go out there and make yourself look like an idiot. But do get out there. Take the wife, take the kids. You know, pick your friend up on the way, and make your voice heard. And you know, it's bound to be on the news, splashed not all over the United States, but all over the world. I don't know how they could ignore it if thousands and upon thousands of gun owners hit the streets. But what else? What else do we want to talk about? Yeah, well, I noticed an article today. I just ran across this while I was kind of perusing the internet a little bit. Someone, I think, posted it on Facebook. But Obama, well, first of all, you probably saw this, where he just signed into law legislation giving himself and other former presidents lifetime protection by the Secret Service. Now, I know this used to be the case, I guess, with presidents, but a few years ago that was overturned, or that was taken away, and they made it 10 years. But now Obama has once again made it a lifetime thing, and I typically wouldn't have a problem with that. That kind of makes sense to me, I guess. But it's just to show once again how big of a hypocrite and a phony Obama is. He's protecting himself and his family with a small army of Secret Service agents armed with automatic weapons. 24/7. He'll have someone watching his back, while at the same time he's prepared to diminish my ability to protect myself and my family, and for you to protect yourself and your family. So just shows what a hypocrite he is, and how little he cares for the American people. He holds us in very low regard, and anyone that would argue that point is just being a fool. But anyway, going back all the way back to Obama's time in the Illinois legislature, back in 2004, actually, when Obama was running for his Senate seat, Obama voted against a measure in Illinois which would have which made it legal for a man to use a firearm to defend himself in his own home. Here it is. It says, as a state senator in Illinois, President Obama opposed legislation providing an exception to handgun restrictions if the weapon was used in the defense of one's home. Obama's vote would have maintained the status quo, which made it a violation of municipal gun ban law to use a firearm to save your own life in your own home. But the bill was passed anyway without his support. So, Obama, this shouldn't be any surprise to anyone. No surprise at all. It sickens me. But it is what it is, so prepare for it. I'm going to try to get back on tomorrow and give my thoughts after Obama, makes his grand announcement. And one thing, I hope that he has grinning Joe Biden with him tomorrow. It'll be interesting to watch grinning Joe's facial expressions and his big toothy grin as Obama stomps on our rights. It would be funny if it wasn't so sad, but it's coming, folks. Just expect it. I don't know what we can do about it at this point, except to maintain contact with our congressmen, our senators, and hey, if you haven't joined the NRA or the Gun Owners of America or whichever group you prefer yet, then do it. Send them a donation, send them a few extra dollars, because they're the ones that's going to have to fight this fight for us in the halls of Congress and in the media as well. So support them, folks. Support them, and just make yourself ready, because I'm afraid something big's coming down the pike, and we just have to be prepared. But that's it for now. We will talk to you again hopefully tomorrow, if not the day after. And I want to thank you for joining me today. Have a good evening. We'll see you next time.